There is something special about storytelling. It can give shape through any form of medium. It allows our creativity to manifest and be shared. By indulging and passing along our creativity, we can gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and those around us without even having to speak. It's me, Yuki. In today's video, I wanted to explore how the movie and animation industry suppresses creativity. You see, big industries like Disney and DreamWorks aren't as willing to take risks anymore in the name of creativity. Primarily, they no longer aim to do anything ambitiously creative or unique. Back then, we had a surplus of original ideas, shows, and movies. While they were a mess, you could feel the passion and life behind those shows and movies. Lately, with everything that's been released, it feels oversaturated with sequel after sequel and remake after remake. It feels as though no one is willing to give creativity a shot unless it really proved its worth and could be made into a successful IP. This goes further on into other forms of medium that have a backing, such as popular books or comics. Creativity will only be supported in the industry if it poses few risks, offers high financial gain, and uses the same idea nearly indefinitely. An excellent example of creativity being allowed the chance to flourish, encouraged, and fostered would have to be Disney's and Amblin's film, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Disney did want to give the ambitious film a shot. However, further looking into the risks, costs, and effort it would take to pull it off, they had to leave it dead in the water. Thankfully, it wouldn't stay there, as in September of 1984, with the hiring of Michael D. Eisner and Frank G. Well, the film could be picked up once more. These Disney execs and a few others were made aware of the drop film. Then they decided it would still be worth investing in. Disney saw that they lacked the resources or corporate workforce needed to finish the movie. However, they weren't willing to give up on it yet. They overcame the live-action animation hurdle by including innovations in the field such as Richard Williams' lighting techniques and by bringing Richard Williams in himself to use his skill for animation. In addition, they got people who supported the film's vision and would pull it off to the best of their abilities, such as Robert Zemeckis and Steven Spielberg. Despite its initial drop in hurdles, Who Framed Roger Rabbit was a huge success, getting over $300 million against its budget of $70 million. This film is an excellent example of creativity in the industry. The resolve they had to make this vision take shape is lovely. Despite the costs, hurdles, and limitations, an idea was given the chance to flourish. Let's bring up another example of a film with je ne sais quoi that I feel films are starting to lack. This is Meet the Robinsons. Now, it's essential to state that even though it was able to surpass its cost budget, it was deemed a flop at the box office, only getting $160 million out of its $150 million budget. It's also not groundbreaking in terms of animation. However, I feel it makes up for it in terms of creativity, flow, and uniqueness. The character designs are unique, to the pizza delivery driver who acts and speaks like a superhero, to frogs wearing suits and playing jazz. It's this creativity that I feel the current industry lacks. While it's easy to say a film is creatively good due to financial success, in no way does the cost of an idea measure its impact. Right now, it's just constant remakes and sequels. You have to dig deep to find something that feels unique, and even then it's getting harder and harder to find as time goes on. The only studios focused on telling unique stories were indie studios or passion projects. It's easy to say that Meet the Robinsons was an underrated masterpiece, but it's utterly different understanding that. As I said, it's not revolutionary in terms of animation. This movie's colorful characters, story, and message make it successful. People cared and poured so much of themselves into this. They encouraged their creativity and wanted to promote ours. The theme of the movie conveys, and the literal message at the end of the film gives you a glimpse of the ambition that Disney and the studio used to have for their creativity. The theme to keep moving forward, which at the end is revealed to be a Walt Disney quote. Around here, however, we don't look backwards for very long. We keep moving forward, opening up new doors and doing new things. And curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. I feel like this has a beautiful parallel to where we are now. Failure doesn't mean defeat. It's a search for expressing one's ideas and ways to foster them, to improve from who you are. It's an easy thing to say and hard to put into reality. The point is about taking that step of accepting and working with failure, a step that many just aren't willing to take anymore. You may say that's not entirely true. Look at Amazon Prime shows, Has-Been Hotel and Netflix's Nimona. Has-Been Hotel is doing great, getting a 7.8 on IMDb and a 79% on Rotten Tomatoes. The issue is that Has-Been Hotel already had an independent backing from a famous indie animation pilot in 2019. It already had the backing and went through its hurdles. It just had to be picked up by a big company. Even then, the series wasn't picked up until 2024, when the show's creator, Busy Pop, started to get traction with one of her other animated series, Hell of a Boss. The show seemed to help gain traction or made it worth investing in. As for Invincible, it's already a show that has the foundation of being based on a popular comic. Blue Sky Studios initially produced Netflix's Nimona. It's the same studio behind the Ice Age franchise. Production was halted when Disney shut Blue Sky down, despite reportedly being 75% complete and having the potential to be something great. Disney didn't want anything to do with it as it didn't align with their ideals. Thankfully, Netflix picked it up and finished it there. I feel like that should speak volumes about why being able to let creativity flourish is vital. If Netflix had never picked it up, we would have never gotten Nimona, as it was tossed to the side because it was deemed risky or unfavorable. Good studios should always do their best to create and tell unique stories. One that strives to do this is Cartoon Saloon, an Irish animation studio that produces films such as Wolfwalker and Song of the Sea. Both have a wonderful sense of style in their animation. The story that the Song of the Sea paints for us is just beautiful. It's about a family dealing with grief and how that influences each family member throughout the story, drawing parallels through folk tales and artistic expression. You get a sense that they're doing their best to share a story rather than think of it as beneficial to do so or not. I believe we're at a point of time where creativity isn't allowed to flourish, and that's because of the studio's fear of failure. Playing it safe has led to the oversaturation of the market, which has left consumers with the been there, done that mentality. A quick example would be Disney's Elementals. It's a lovely story about love between a water boy and a fire girl. A forbidden love that shouldn't happen. That's so cliche. Wrong! Elementals isn't inherently a love story of forbidden love. While it is marketed as one from Disney, that's how they thought it would sell best, putting it into a category rather than sharing it for what it is. A story about facing the challenges of growing up in a family of immigrants, living to the expectations of people who aim to find a better place to live. It only scored roughly 29.6 million opening weekend in the box office due to how it was marketed, to fit into the good old cookie cutter mold, if you will. After initial word of mouth and just word of the press as to what the movie was really about, the film sold a gross of $484.2 million at the box office. I also want to express the effort it takes to get seen and have your ideas be given a chance to run. Let's look at pilots. For those who don't know what a pilot is, it's essentially an episode made to pitch the show. Something that would help startups or convey ideas to companies. YouTube is a platform that has allowed people to spread and get their creativity across. But that doesn't mean that their creativity will be fostered or picked up. It's not as much based on whether or not the product has substance to it, but more or less how much it appeals and could sell for. Again, looking back to Has-Been Hotel, you can see that it has an enormous fan base. It has other things going for it, allowing it to be seen as a safe bet for big industry. I would like to put a spotlight on Ramshackle, an animated pilot on YouTube. Currently, it has 4.2 million views on the ZZ channel. It's a wonderfully charming animation with an enjoyable, silly, and whimsical story. It was made possible by ZZ's dedication to following their creativity and through Kickstarter's financial support. Whether or not a big company will pick up and fund the project is unclear, but there is passion and creativity behind the project. If you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend that you do. It's a must-watch. Here's a little clip.
Oh my god! Police!
Skip! I'm sorry, I had to.
Shit! Someone shut this broad up!
Did you see that? Crazy. I hope it gets the attention and the chance it deserves. It's rough knowing we're at a place and time where ideas aren't discussed or followed through as much as they should be. That is, to put them into action and bring them to life properly. Those ideas must pose little to no threat of failure and offer excellent incentives to make. As my favorite artist, Bug Hunter, puts it, don't aim for flawless, because some of your best art is made with chalk on your sidewalk. It's gone when you wash it off. It's not made for fame or profits. It's looking back and giving all you got to top it. It's not about the reward. It's about the effort and the meaning behind it. And with that, my dear viewers, I'm signing off. Till next time.